So, I'm Jojo Mathew. So, first of all, just before we talk about all these things, I would like to say a few words about ALS and Edukemy, then I will talk about that. So, basically, we started this organization almost 25 years before. Okay, and it was in 1990s. So, we started as Interactions IAS Study Circle. That was in 1993. Mr. Shashank Atom was the person who started. And then by 2000, early 2000, we have formed this organization called ALS. Then it was 2003. And in 16, we started another organization called ALS Satellite Education, whereby our classes are relayed live across India through satellite, not through internet. Okay, so we have around 40 centers across India. Then after COVID, because of all the problems, no physical classes, so that is how this online stuff also we started. Okay, and in 2020, Edukemy is as a tech platform, it was started, and we have an association with them. So we are predominantly offline, so Edukemy is online. So we joined together so that the same classes can be there online, offline, through VSAT. So that is how this whole program we started. So the same class we have the capacity to relay also, online also. So in VSAT, students have to come to the center. It is not at home. Online thing is through internet it will reach. So that's the difference. Anyway, so that's how we started. Now coming to civil services, a couple of things I would like to talk. UPSC, is it not? UPSC conducts this. What is UPSC? Okay, Union Public Service. Tell me something about that. If you have to say something about UPSC. Okay, UPSC is the toughest exam in India. UPSC के बारे में बोलने के लिए बोला आपको, वो एग्जाम टफ है इजी है नहीं पूछा मैंने. गवर्निंग बॉडी, ठीक है, व्हाट एल्स? गवर्निंग बॉडी, बस. उसका कोई स्टेटस कुछ तो बोलेगा. हाँ, इट्स अ यूनियन. हाँ, यूनियन गवर्निंग बॉडी. इट्स अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बॉडी. पता है ना व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बॉडी एंड अदर बॉडीज? Huh? What is the difference? Okay, it is in the constitution, like election commission, Supreme Court, or many of the organizations which are mentioned in the constitution. So it is not under the government. Modi ji is not controlling it. Okay, that means the government cannot have a separate say or rather a specific say on that. Government can appoint the members of the UPSC, but otherwise government is not directly controlling, or the government in power cannot manipulate. That is the difference. Okay. Had it been any other organization under the government, then the government can change everything. So they see, once appointed, these members cannot be removed. Okay, if at all these members are to be removed, only Supreme Court can remove. So these kind of constitutional safeguards are there for their impartiality. So that is why, have you heard of any allegation of any malpractice in UPSC till now? आपने नहीं सुना होगा. It is not there, right? Why? Because it is constitutional body. It has a long history, and till now no allegation against that. I don't know whether you heard somebody telling that I paid some money and I got through. Nobody will. Nobody can claim that. Why? Because of this constitutional status of this. So we talk about the IAS exam, but that is the civil services exam. So how many services are there within the civil services exam? Any idea? What all are there? 4. बस छोटे मोटे हैं। वाह, तुम तो ऐसे बता दिए कि बाकी सब तो, हाँ। अच्छा, मेन 4 ही काउंट होता है, तुमको कौन बोला? हाँ, ऐसे तुम डिक्लेयर ही कर दिया मेन 4 है बाकी सब बेकार है। ओके, so there are both all India services and central government services. How many all India services are there? Any idea? Yeah, I am just asking you because you are going to prepare for all this exam. How many all India services are there? Approx 20. 3 or 4. 3 था, ये 4 हो गया। कौन सा है? Which IFS? Forest है, foreign है? Okay, forest. Okay, so IAS, IPS and Indian Forest. तो ये तो मैं पूछ रहा हूँ. So forest service is all India service, but our exam, civil service exam, only preliminary, up to preliminary level we have forest. Okay, after that there is a separate main exam for forest service. But when you apply for civil service exam, you have this option of applying for forest also separately. So, but to appear in forest service, you should be a science graduate. And after that, preliminary, if you clear the same exam, if separate rank list is there, if you clear preliminary, then you will have to choose 2 optional subjects in forest. Then you have to write a separate main exam. So, that is a forest thing. So, we are IAS, IPS and all others are central government services, including our foreign service, IFS, sorry, this foreign. Okay. Foreign is also central government service. And all other services, as you said, na, IRS, Indian Audit and Account Service, Postal Service, Defense, Estate, around 20 services are there, including Railway Management Service now. All railways are put together into one service now. Earlier there were, till last year, there were railway personnel also, IRTS was there, Railway Traffic Service was there. Now all those services put together into one service, and there will be some intake for that also. So around 20 services are there. Altogether we have 1,000, around 1,000 seats. Okay. Out of that, how much is IAS? Any idea? 100? 200? कुछ तो बोलो. We have 180. IPS, this year onwards it is 200. Okay. Earlier till last year it was 150. Now it has become 200. IFS, forest नहीं. Our IFS कितना? 40. Foreign service. Okay. And all other central government service put together maybe around 500 to 600. Most of the seats are in IRS. Okay. Other services are less. So that is how the number of vacancies on an average it is there. Last year, till last year it was around 850. Now this year slightly more. But when you prepare thinking that there are around 1,000 seats on an average. There were years when it was less to 300 also. But we don't think that it will happen like that. So, and this, on an average 1,000 vacancies. And in this also, we have reservation, as you know very well. We have how much? Scheduled caste, 15%. Scheduled tribe, 7.5%. Then OBC, 27. Then EWS, 10%. So ये सब खत्म होने के बाद, so this is almost 60. So what is left is 40% for general category. Okay, merit, what you call as merit. Anyway, so this is the percentage, and so accordingly from IAS also the number of vacancies will be accordingly, you will be taken 15%, 7.5. So in the final rank list, this all these percentages will be counted properly. Okay. So what is the number of people who are applying for this service, for this exam? Any idea? देखो, तुम तो एकदम सब यूपीएससी से डायरेक्ट बाहर आया टाइप बात करता है. 10 to 12 lakh people are applying. ओके, तो ये यही सब गलत इंफॉर्मेशन लेके जाएगा, गलत प्रिपरेशन करेगा, गलत एग्जाम में पास हो जाएगा फिर. ओके, 10 to 12 lakh applicants are there. Okay, it is not those who are writing. Okay, don't confuse. But those who go to the exam hall, after applying, many people will not go to the exam hall. Half of the people only will go to the exam hall. Almost 40% only go to the exam hall. So when you go to the exam center, you may see that most of the seats are empty. I need it. So then you may think that koi nahi likh raha, मैं भी नहीं लिखूंगा, ऐसा नहीं. So that is the general thing is around 40% will come. So around 5 lakh will appear. Okay, appear, इसको मैं हटा देता हूँ. How many will appear? If you look, maybe 5 lakhs. But those who appear also are not serious. How many could be the real serious candidates? 20,000. नहीं यार, उससे ज्यादा होगा. दिल्ली में ये जो करोल बाग में ही 25-30 हजार घूम रहे है ना, मिनिमम. I think around 1.5 lakh. Okay, my calculation. 2 may be slightly more, 1 lakh may be slightly less. So serious. How many will clear preliminary? हाँ? नहीं, बहुत ज्यादा बोल दिया. Clear prelim. Normally the formula is whatever be the number of seats, is cut 12 times to 13 times. Okay. So if 800 seats are there, 8 into 12, 96, 9,600 may be there. Something like that. Okay. So आप इसको मान लो maybe 12,000. Okay. And those who write, these are the people who write the main exam. How many will go for interview? 3 times. 3 times नहीं देता है. It is 2.7 times normally. Okay. For interview, say 2,700. Normally 2.7 to 2.8 times. 3 नहीं होता है, 2.5 भी नहीं होता. It is in between because numbers may slightly vary, but normally it is 2.7. Out of this 2.7, 1,000 will get rank. Is it not? 1,000 will get rank. And out of this, 180 IAS, IPS, 200 now this year onwards. So this is how the breakup. Okay. But we need only 1 seat, or you need only 1 seat. 4 seat करेंगे क्या? You need only 1. So that way you should be happy. Whatever be the number of seats, whether it is 100 seats, 200 seats, 1,000 seats, doesn't make any difference for us as long as you are getting 1. So our focus should always be on how to get that 1 seat. Anyway, so this is the overall picture of the civil service competition. Anything you would like to ask? What is the difference between all India services and central bank? All India services are those services where the President of India will appoint you, but you will work under the states. आपको एक state assign कर देगा. So once you are appointed, the President of India is pleased to inform you that I am appointing you. वो तो चिट्ठी आएगा President से. But you will work under, you will be assigned, you will get a cadre. So the moment you are assigned as a Tamil Nadu cadre, you are until your death, you are a Tamil Nadu cadre officer. Okay. But there are 1 or 2 ways of changing the cadre and all, but that is a rare thing. Very rarely it will happen. So, but you will come for deputation in the center and all. So, so many years he'll have to work in the central government also. So, that is why. So, only three services are there: IAS, IPS and Forest Service. These are the three All India services. But central government service means, again, President is appointing, you will be always under the central government. For example, railway. So, you will be always under the railway. You cannot change that cadre anymore. Or rather, you are not going to work under the state and all, unless otherwise you are again specially invited for some deputation and all. That is not mandatory. Very rarely you will get deputation also. See, audit and account service, if you get, you may get a chance to work in maybe New Delhi Municipal Corporation. That kind of transfer will be there within the central government services, not into state government and all. You cannot get a chance normally, unless otherwise you are so good and you are so sought after, आपको request करके ले जाए, ऐसा उसके लिए मेहनत करना पड़ेगा. Okay, this when the Punjab militancy was going on, okay, a very famous cop was there, Ribeiro. क्या नाम है? Have you heard of this man? He was the Maharashtra DGP. Okay, Julius Ribeiro. So he was so famous. Then the Punjab government requested his service. Then he became the DGP of Punjab. So very rarely it happens. ऐसे मिल जाए तो you can celebrate. Okay. So that is how. Otherwise, this is the difference between state government service. You are appointed by the governor of the state, and you will be always under the state. Okay. So that's it. Anything else? Okay. So this is the overall picture of the number of numbers, fight, everything. Okay. So anyway, so now having said all these things, now coming to our exam, which you know, उसी के लिए डिस्कस करना है. सर्विसेज तो समझ में आ गया. See, we have 3-stage exam, as we know very well. Prelim, see, prelim marks are not added for the mains marks with the mains marks. So the ranking is not counted. You have to clear preliminary, that's all. And we have paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 2 is what we call it as CSAT. Paper 1 is general studies. Right. So in CSAT we have 80 questions into 2.5 marks is equal to 200. Okay. But this is qualifying, as we know very well. How many marks you require to qualify? Okay, 66 and 66.67 you require to qualify. Right? So that how many questions you should get to get 66.67? 30. 30 into 2.5 is कितना? 75 है ना? हमें तो 67 है ना? 27 मान लो. Finally, 27 questions should be correct. But there is negative mark. If you mark one question wrong, you will lose 1/3 marks. If you did not attempt, no problem. If you attempt, you will lose 1/3 marks. So after deducting that 1/3 also, then finally it should be 27. Right? So this is a qualifying paper. You know how many people normally fail in this paper every year? Any idea? Some guess? See, I said 5 lakh people will appear. उस 5 lakh में कितना इसमें fail होता है? How many will fail? Huh? See, last year before, I think some institutes published and said that 1,70,000 people failed out of around 5 lakh people who appeared. So, as you said, around 30% maybe you can say that. So this should not be taken very lightly. Either it's qualifying, no institute will be very serious about that. हम बोलते हैं ना ये तो qualifying है. Some of you may be very good also, especially some engineers may be very good. Then they will say class बेकार है, हमें class नहीं चाहिए. This is a big problem with many people. So for any institute, the biggest difficulty is to take this class. Why? Because in the same class, some of you may be there without any understanding of maths and mental ability, and some of you will be there with all understanding. So those who are having full understanding, they will say, hey, jaldi jaldi karo. And on another side, somebody will be sitting and say, no, 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 sir, iska samjhao. So it's very difficult for a teacher, but anyway, we will manage. But out of this, if you are not so good in maths, let me just remind you, there are three major areas. Okay. There are three major areas in CSAT. Please don't forget. Number one is maths. Number two is what? Reasoning. We can say reasoning. Number three, comprehension. Maths, you will get around 20 questions. That's all. If you are poor in maths, celebrate. Only 20 out of 80. Reasoning is around 30. One or two questions here and there. Okay. And reading comprehension also around 30. Right. So, reading comprehension is 30 questions, one paragraph, and maybe, one question based on that paragraph. See, this is the difference between what we did in school and all, where, long paragraphs are given, 4 or 5 questions are there based on one paragraph. This is not the case in UPSC. Maximum 2 questions you will get. Normally, only 1 question on a paragraph, maybe only 1 sentence, and then 1 question on that. And it's not that, you have to just identify some word or anything in that sentence. No, it is the inference or rather the meaning of that. You should be able to understand. So, you need some practice in this. Many people, I have seen, a year before, a very interesting thing happened in the class. So, one of these days when the classes were going on, I decided to give a test on English, this reading comprehension. All I did is, previous year question I just took out and gave a test of 2 hours. So, people were, ye to abhi dikha dunga, phod dunga, ye wo. So, finally, when the marks came, most people failed in the reading comprehension. Regular class, normal class. And the funniest thing was that 2 of them who failed were English MA literature. MA literature from Delhi University, and then they failed. It's not that they did not know English. They knew everything. But this is also a trick. Even reading comprehension solving has required some tricks, some basics. So they missed out. So what I'm trying to tell you is that many people, you may think that it's very easy. I'm not saying it is difficult. Only thing required is you need to practice. Okay. And again, reasoning, if you practice, you can easily do. 20 questions of maths. Again, some of these questions are very easy. You need practice. So my suggestion to all of you will be, right from the beginning, irrespective of the classes and all, don't wait for any class to start also. You spend, say, around 1 hour every day only on this. So many guides are available in the market. So many questions are available in the internet also. Even SSC, banking, any of those, please practice. So that you should not fail in this paper. If you fail in this paper, it's a crime. Because you are not even evaluated. Your GS paper is not evaluated. This is only this paper, second paper, marks they took out, and if it is less than 27, you are declared as out. Even the first paper is not even evaluated. So it can be a big problem. So please make sure that you are having some practice. It is not difficult. Only thing required is practice. And even this maths, I will say it's only 8th standard level. It is not that difficult. Less than 8th standard level. All of us can, at least out of 20, I will say 6-7 questions you can easily mark if you have some practice. Okay, something may be on profit and loss, something may be on that percentage. These things anybody can do. Only thing is that you require practice. So paper 2 is qualifying. We need 27 questions to be correct, and you should always keep a target of 35 minimum, so that even if something goes wrong, you should be able to qualify. And in fact, I have seen people who have written main exam in the previous year, next year they are failing in this paper. These kind of situations should not come to you. Only thing you have to require is practice, and it is possible, you can do. So that is about this paper 2. I hope it is clear. And you have to do, it's all about practice, nothing new to study. You should not worry about studying for this. You are only practice, some practice which is possible, right? Then in paper 1, as we know very well, we have 100 questions into 2 marks is equal to 200. What is the cutoff required? Any idea? How many marks you require to clear this paper 1? Last year, what was the cutoff? कितना था? 92.5. General category, 92.5. What is the percentage? Out of 200, 92.5. Okay, so it's approximately 46. 46%. If you get 46%, you will clear preliminary. Okay, so it's not like you are, 12th. Suppose in 12th, if you get 46%, what will happen? घर से भगा देगा. Is it not? Suppose अगर आप बोलें कि पापा 90% आ गया, तब भी खुश नहीं रहेगा. वो 10% कहाँ गया, वही पूछेगा अगला क्वेश्चन, right? Last year in 12th class, first rank holder, okay, 499 out of 500. First rank. तो उसमें तो खुश होना चाहिए ना, फर्स्ट रैंक मिल गया. Then I read in the newspaper next week that this female applied for re-evaluation for that paper where that 1 mark she lost. टेंशन में आ गई वो, 1 मार्क कैसे चला गया. ये है हमारा मार्किंग सिस्टम इन CBSE, स्टेट बोर्ड एंड ऑल. UPSC में आप देखो 46% मिलेगा तो चैंपियन है, सेलिब्रेट करेगा, रात भर दारू पिएगा कुछ लोग उस दिन. क्यों? PT पास हो गया. Is it not? 46%. And if you are in, OBC, it was 89. Okay, 1 mark का कम है, OBC 89. But economically weaker section, these days the economic weaker section are really weak. Okay, 77.5. Though whoever got 77.5, they cleared preliminary. But this is not going to happen in future. मैं बता रहा हूँ. अभी क्या हो रहा है? 10%. Last year only it was introduced. So not many people are having the certificate right now. So जिनके पास certificate है उनको benefit मिल रहा है. So if you have a chance, you please ensure that you get that certificate as early as possible. अभी ये gap कम होता जाएगा, because these are all general category people only. ये economically weaker section कहाँ है? From general category. तो ऐसा नहीं कि वो weak है, कोई weak नहीं है. This is the fraud, the biggest fraud happened to our reservation system. Please don't take it personally. ठीक है? Actually, do you think these people are weak? कोई weak नहीं है. Only thing is that घर पे पैसा नहीं है, पिताजी के पास पैसा नहीं है, ठीक है, मान लिया. But the whole concept of reservation is for helping really weak people, those who need some support. वो तो छोड़ो भाई. So 77 or 92 बहुत बड़ा gap है. This gap will be filled when more and more people get the certificate. Certificate नहीं है, बच गया. So some people are taking advantage of situation right now. But scheduled caste, it is 74.8. 75 मान लो. Scheduled tribe, it was 68. ठीक है. So anyway, so general category, you just see that number, that is 46%. So that means just now many people, if you ask your friends and relatives also, आप उनसे पूछो, if they fail in preliminary, you ask them the number. So many will say, sir, 1 mark से रह गया, 2 marks से रह गया, I mean 2 marks, 3 marks, that's what they will be saying. But what I am trying to tell you is, suppose you make one silly mistake. Okay, what is a silly mistake? लोग बोलते हैं ना, मैंने एक silly mistake कर दिया था. What do you mean by silly mistake? You knew the answer, but still you made a mistake. That is silly mistake. Because of marking, something went wrong. So if you make one question wrong like that, how many marks you will lose? Suppose you mark it wrong, how much you are losing? minus 0.67 marks you lost because you marked it wrong. But you knew the question. You could have easily got it right. Instead of getting +2, you got minus 0.67. So what is the net loss? Suppose I have 90 marks total. एक silly mistake किया. That is why I am 90. Had I not made the silly mistake, what would have been my score? Or 2 plus भी मिलना, plus that minus 0.66 would not have happened. So my score would have been 92.67 had I not made one mistake, one silly mistake. So 92.5 was the cutoff. Had I not made one silly mistake, I would have, if I am having 90 right now, I would have been in. If I made two silly mistakes, imagine karo, 92.5 is the cutoff. And if you made two mistakes, your score may look like 87. Your score is 87 right now. You will say, bahut dur hai. I mean, we feel that we are far away from the cutoff. But actually, this 87 and 92.5 difference is only two silly mistakes. So, how many silly mistakes you generally make in any paper? Generally, hamara aadat. Generally 3-4 mistakes we make. So, if you can reduce the silly mistake alone, you will get through the exam. And most people, I am not joking, you ask anybody, any senior who wrote this exam, wo bolega, cutoff is this, my score was around 3-4 marks here and there, 5 marks here and there. The difference is not more than that. So, if you practice and practice properly, and if you minimize the silly mistakes, your chance of getting through is always there. Anyway, so forget about that. So you need 92 point. So it is, we are talking about 46% of marks. Okay, and in our preliminary, how many 5 areas, 6 areas are there? That is what I always would like to say. Which are those 6 areas? Number 1 is history and culture. Geography and environment. Then economics, polity, science and technology, and current affairs. Okay. History and culture, you can expect 15 to 17 questions. Geography and environment is the most important area. You can expect 20 to 22 questions. 25 ज़्यादा लिख दिया, 22 कर लेता हूँ. Economics 15 to 17. Polity 12 to 15. Science 12 to 15. Current affairs 15 to 17. See, this numbers can vary a bit. But when you prepare for this exam, you should be always thinking of or you should be expecting this number of questions. Okay, in a particular year, history may be only 10, but then geography may be 25. Or in a particular year, economics, instead of 15 to 17, it may be 20 to 23. So, like this, some variation can be there, but these numbers are not going to change much. And when you prepare, you should be preparing thinking that this is what is going to happen. So, but last couple of years, if you look at the question paper, this current affairs may look like a slightly different. It may not be, it may not look like current affairs also. That is because of COVID. UPSC was also not very clear when to conduct that exam, because a lot of changes happened, because the exam was happening in October. Okay, so that is why the current affairs questions were slightly missing, but that will come back from, I believe that from this year itself, you will find enough current affairs questions also in that. So when you prepare, now what I am trying to tell you is, you cannot give too much of emphasis on current affairs also. It's only 15, 17, 20. So some people may say that all questions are current affairs. No. If you read only newspaper, you will not get through. Newspaper is important. And suppose this is 15, 17, even 20% question be मान लो. How much time we should spend for current affairs then? Are you getting that? Suppose you see, if I ask you how many hours you read newspaper. How many hours you read newspaper? Or how many hours you should spend on newspaper and current affairs? How many hours you spend? 1 or 2 hours. It cannot be more than that. Because out of how many hours you study every day, for example. कितना time लगेगा? 7 to 8 hours is slightly less. Okay. Now, you should always think in that perspective. So, if 15 to 20 questions are coming, we have to also give some percentage of that time. If you are spending 10 hours of your time, then 2 hours it looks logical. But if you are spending 7 hours, and then if you are spending 2 hours on current affairs, then it is disproportionate. Okay, if you are studying only 7 hours a day, then you cannot spend more than 1 hour for current affairs. But I will not suggest you. Okay, I will come to that point. I will come to that. So this is the general breakup. Okay, and accordingly you have to plan. So you should be able to get at least 50% of the questions right. 92 was last year's cutoff, but it is anywhere between. So when you should be presuming that it should be anywhere between 95 to 105. So you try to get 105. If your score is above 105, you can safely prepare for main exam immediately. The day exam is over, next day you can start preparing, provided your score is something like this. If it is around 100, there will be a doubt. Pass hoga, nahi hoga. Okay, some dilemma will be there. We should avoid that, and you should always think about having this at least 105. Okay, so that is the that is one of the challenges. And preliminary multiple choice question, again negative marks are there. Yahan par bhi negative mark hai, so be careful. And just one more point, let me just add before I proceed. The formula, or rather to get this, the strategy is very simple. I will say out of 100 questions, around 20 questions will be very tough. Okay, normally you take any paper, at least 20 questions will be very tough. What should you do? You should leave it. Us pe chedna nahi. Okay, it's like in cricket, if a good length ball just outside the off stump, what should you do? Leave the ball, है ना? Commentator क्या बोलेगा तब? If you leave the ball, बीजों को एक जगह से नहीं आएगा यार. Okay, so commentators will say what? Well left, है ना? Well left, right? So same thing. Around, see now what I am saying, suppose you are a history graduate. Okay, say 15, I said 17, 15 questions are there from history. Okay, now in every side, whether it is history, whether it is geography, all I am trying to tell you that around 20%, that means 15 to 20% is 3. Say around 3 questions in history will be quite tough. That is how the question paper is set. Okay, question paper setting mein, this is the instruction given to the question paper setters also, that some questions should be tough, some questions should be easy, some questions should be standard. Okay, so all I am trying to tell you that even if you are a history graduate and you are a doctorate in history, you may find 3 or 4 questions very tough in that. So you should have that understanding that yes, even from history I may not be able to attend all the questions. Okay, so like this, these 20 very tough questions, the formula is, you should not touch that. You should be expecting that to happen from your best area also. And similarly, there will be some easy question. Another, I will say around 20 questions, very easy. See, a non-serious candidate, if he goes to the exam hall, he comes out and says that, ये तो बहुत simple है यार, ये तो कुछ भी नहीं है. He is seeing only those 20 easy questions. वो बोलेगा अरे ये तो क्या सिविल सर्विस है, तो कुछ भी नहीं है, कोई भी पास हो जाएगा, मैं पढ़ा नहीं, अदरवाइज अभी फोड़ दिया होता. हाँ, तो वो ही इज सेइंग बिकॉज ऑफ दोस 20 क्वेश्चंस, ही इज सेइंग अरे बहुत आसान है, कुछ पढ़ लिया होता तो had I studied something I would have done it. It is not the case, but this is a misleading thing, no? But you cannot make any mistake here. But another 60 questions, this 60, this is where the challenge, I will say it is a standard. This is where you can answer it only if you prepare, if you study properly. And the fight is here only. This 20, there is no fight. Anybody will do. 60, you cannot answer unless you study properly. And this 20, you should not even touch. So in the exam hall, I am just telling you, it will be, later on you will be practicing also. How many questions to attempt? Now you tell me how many questions you should attempt? 80. Very clear, yeah? Don't touch. That is I always tell this. If for a serious candidate who wants to clear this exam, you cannot attempt more than 80 questions in the exam hall. If somebody comes out and say that, I attempted 95 questions, sir. I will immediately jot down against your name, 100% fail. ये तो 100% फेल है, ये पीटी कभी पास नहीं होगा, मैं लिख के दे सकता हूं. ओके, सारा बहुत आसान था, आई मार्क्ड ऑल, बेटा खत्म. ओके, यू आर आउट. सी नाउ this is how, it's a reality. आप देखना, why I am telling you, see, you have a limit here, there is a limit. We have around 60-65 questions, we cannot do more than that in any case. So if you attempt 80, out of that also you will make at least 20% mistake. We human beings, whether it is silly mistake, whether it is not properly knowing it, the way the questions are asked, if you mark 10 questions, you will not get more than 8 right. In fact, ultimately क्या होने वाला है? Suppose 10 questions are there, you will not answer 2 and you will make 2 mistakes. 2 तो आप छोड़ देगा. Why? Because it is very tough. Another 2 you marked it, still you made wrong. So finally कितना correct होगा? 6. Okay, suppose you got 60 correct and 20 wrong. Okay, 80 you marked. Total कितना? 80. Out of 60 correct, 20 wrong. When you are 20 wrong, how many minus marks? 1/3 you will lose. 6 and 2/3 you will lose. 7 मान लो. 60 minus 7 is equal to 53. 53 into 2, 106. Your score will be 106. We need 105. मैंने कितना बोला? 100 to 95 to 105. You will be on the safer side. So what I am trying to tell you is, please don't forget this. Don't attempt more than 80. Even if the question paper is very easy. Okay, question उधर देखा, सब पता है मुझे. That is also very dangerous. अगर आपको लग रहा है हर आंसर मुझे पता है, योर अलार्म बेल शुड रिंग. अरे कुछ तो प्रॉब्लम है, ये तो मैं नहीं हूं, दिस इज नॉट मी, है ना, कुछ तो गड़बड़ हो रहा है. सो 80 से ऊपर नहीं जाना है. सिमिलरली, सपोज यू से आई विल मार्क ओनली व्हाट आई नो, एंड इफ यू आर मार्किंग ओनली 50, you will fail 100%. Even if you mark 60, you will fail 100%. If you mark only 65, you will fail 100%. Why? Suppose you said, मैं जितना आता उतना ही मार्क करके आया. कितना आता? 65. मैं फिर अपने डायरी में नोट करूंगा, ये तो गया. क्यों? यार, you thought all 65 correct. You cannot get all 65 right because you will make mistakes there. Again, normally 80-85% से ज्यादा मिलेगा ही नहीं. तो 65 का अगर 85% है तो कितना है? 60 into 80 is 48. Okay, 65 का 80 हो गया तो 50. So suppose you get say 53 correct and say 12 wrong. 12 wrong minus means 53 minus 4. So it becomes 49. It's a rare chance. 49 में पास हो सकता है, मना नहीं कर रहा हूं, but below 100 हो गया ना. So formula is you cannot mark less than 70, should not mark more than 80. It should be between 70 to 80. If you're marking less than 70, your chance of failing is very high. If you're marking more than 80, again the chance of failing is very high. So anyway, so the bottom line is preliminary, we need 95 to 105 marks. 105 means 100% safe. For that, 60 questions you should get correct ultimately. 20 you can leave, 20 you can make mistake, still you will get through very comfortably. So that marking strategy should be there with you. Okay, so that is the only requirement of when you talk about this preliminary. Anything you would like to ask on this so that I can move to the next level? कुछ और पूछना है? Some doubt? हाँ. अरे कुछ नहीं आता है तो तुरंत समझ में आ गया ना, वेरी डिफिकल्ट है. क्वेश्चन देख के समझ में नहीं आ रहा, हिस्ट्री है, ज्योग्राफी है, मार्क छोड़ दो, अरे ये मेरा बस की बात नहीं है, नहीं करना है, बात खत्म. अपने आप, इसके लिए कोई फॉर्मूला नहीं चाहिए तुमको. देखा समझ में नहीं आ रही है, हिस्ट्री है, ज्योग्राफी है, मार्क अलग, वेरी टफ, उस तरह का 20 तो आपको आराम से मिलेगा. मेरा बोलने की मतलब ये है कि when you start preparing, you should remember only one thing: we cannot try to get all questions correct. हमारा strategy में कभी, this should not be the strategy to know all questions. History, हमें एक लिमिट है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं बोलूंगा एनसीईआरटी चाहिए मिनिमम, प्लस वन मोर बुक, या प्लस मे बी हमारा नोट्स, क्लास नोट, नॉट मोर देन दैट. सी, आई एम नॉट क्लेमिंग दैट from this class and the NCERT put together you will get all questions. We don't want that. Suppose you get one such question, you should ignore. Previous year question देखते वक्त ना आपको देखें ये तो कर नहीं पा रहे, no problem, leave it, because you should understand that this was one of those toughest questions which came, which we are not supposed to know. Last year I'll give an example. There was a question related to 1935 Government of India Act. Okay, related to who all got reservations in the Government of India Act 1935. I hope you remember that. You have seen that paper. See, I teach polity. I did not know this. We had to search करके finally answer मिल गया. But this is not what we normally teach. ठीक है? So out of 10 polity questions, if I know 9, if you don't know that one question, नेक्स्ट ईयर के लिए आपको तुरंत ये नहीं निकाल के पढ़ना है कि गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट 1935 पूरा पढ़ ले, थिंकिंग दैट दिस क्वेश्चन विल कम. दिस क्वेश्चन शुड बी इग्नोर्ड. ओके, मेनी इयर्स बिफोर व्हेन वी पीपल यूज्ड टू राइट द एग्जाम, 95-96 की बात कर रहा हूं. सो देयर वाज अ क्वेश्चन ऑन इन जीएस अगेन, व्हिच स्नेक लेज एग. 4 ऑप्शन दिया, वाइपर पर कुछ 4 ऑप्शन दिया. क्वेश्चन वाज दैट which of the following snakes lay egg. ठीक है, मुझे नहीं पता था, हम लोग मार्क नहीं किया, कोई बात नहीं, we left it. Next year again, which of the following snakes make nest. Nest बनाता है, again हमें नहीं पता है, मार्क नहीं किया, बाहर आ गया. So we used to clear preliminary very easily. My friend, he failed again, second time फिर fail हो गया, दुखी होकर घर पे बैठा था, सोचा कि उनका घर जाके थोड़ा सा कंसोल करूं. तब तक ना ही वॉज गेटिंग रेडी फॉर नेक्स्ट अटेम्प्ट. बोला अभी मैं पढ़ता हूँ, क्वेश्चन पेपर एनालाइज किया, पूरा 4 साल का क्वेश्चन पेपर एनालाइज किया. फिर मुझे समझा रहा है, देखो यार ये एरिया से क्वेश्चन आया. देन ही सेड, देखो लास्ट 2 years देयर इज ए क्वेश्चन ऑन स्नेक. एनालिसिस है भाई साहब का, तो अगले साल भी स्नेक के बारे में पूछेगा. तो देन उतना तो ठीक है. Then he said, at that time, no internet and all. So he went to the Delhi University library to get a book on snakes. Snake के बारे में पूरा रिसर्च चल रहा है. उसी टाइम में बोले तुम फिर फेल होगा. यही रिसर्च है तो फेल होगा 100%. So this man, he could not clear preliminary. किस लोगों को नहीं होता है, but despite knowing so many things, they used to make mistake. The same thing, such questions, you should not try to know such answers. आपको पता होना चाहिए, this is something beyond what is required for us. Okay, so same thing here. So every area you will get some questions which you are not supposed to study. You can. So 8 out of 10 you should be attempting, and out of that 8 also 80% accuracy. That is our formula. And if you are moving with that formula, it is easy to finish the syllabus. Otherwise, you will never be able to finish. If you ask me what is required in civil service preparation, I will say number one, 3 things only I will say. You study properly your NCERT books, whichever NCERT we say, because that will provide you the base and foundation about everything. Number 2, our class notes. I mean, if you are attending our class, you should study the class notes thoroughly and whatever printed material we provide. Okay, printed material and whatever related to current affairs in that area. And this should be repeatedly studied, not one round. 5-6 rounds of revision. 100% you will get through the exam. 5-6 rounds. See, and now when I say 5-6 rounds, तुमको tension हो जाएगी, कैसे होगा? कुछ नहीं यार. If you are studying something, if you have 100-page material, if you revise that, the same what you have already made, if for this 100-page you might have taken 10 days, but when you go for the next round of revision, you may take only 2 days. A third round of revision, you may take only 1 day. A fourth round of revision, you may take half a day. So we can easily manage. It's a question of time management. We'll be talking about that. But the strategy to succeed in civil service exam is less material and study that again and again and again. If you do more, your silly mistakes also will come down. If you are reading only new things every day, and if you are collecting current affairs 10 pages every day, chances of failure are very high, because every day you are adding to your burden. आप accumulate करते जा रहे, आप complete ही नहीं कर रहे, आप पहाड़ बना रहे. Every day you are collecting and accumulating. That should not be the strategy. So if you do this limited material, see, to limit the material, this 80% वाला strategy बहुत important है. Meaning 20 very tough area we will ignore. हम उधर answer, even in the main exam I tell you, out of 20 questions, we will not try to attempt more than 18. अगर 18 अगर आप लिख पा रहे ढंग से, if you are able to, if you know 18 questions out of 20 in the meaning, I'm just coming to that, then your chance of succeeding is very high. It's not that you have to attempt all 20 out of 20. 19th and 20th question, even if it is not so good answer, you can manage. But 18 good answers are required. So our focus should be to study comparatively, limit. See, in this era, see, hum log, I always tell this point. When we people came to Delhi for preparing, I'm talking about 1990s. Okay, I completed my graduation in 1992. Before you were born. हाँ, तुम लोग सोचा भी नहीं अपने बारे में, तब मैं ग्रेजुएट होकर घूम रहा हूँ. Right? So I completed my graduation in 92 from mechanical engineering from NIT Durgapur. Okay, that was REC at those days. So we had state quota in REC. I mean, these days it is not, admission process is different. In those days we had 17 RECs across India, and from every state, in each REC there is some number of seats. So I belong to Kerala, so 5 seats for REC Durgapur. Okay, so like this for every state, depending on the percentage of the population, things like that. So then I was working. I never thought of preparing for civil services in my life, but in 95, 94, this idea of civil service preparation came. I took 4 attempts and 3 mains, 2 interview, did not get through. That is how I started teaching in 1998. Okay, so it is 24 years. तुम्हारे एज से ज़्यादा मेरा एक्सपीरियंस हो गया सिविल सर्विस में, ठीक है, बी केयरफुल. So anyway, so this experience you can use it. So what I am trying to say is, this preparation, the strategy is how well you study the same thing again and again, rather than how much more you widen the scope. You have to limit. You have to limit the the content, and then utilize that information again and again. So some of those things which I studied at that time is still useful, because the core areas are same. Core areas are not different. Polity, the core is same. The economic, the core is same. Okay, history and geography, the same history and geography. Only difference may be, when we started the number of states in India. हम लोग तो 25 से शुरू किया था. Then became 3 more states added in 2000. So these things, the numbers may change here and there, but otherwise everything else what is required is the same. Okay, anyway, so what I'm coming back to our strategy part is, you should read and study the same content again and again. Revision is the key, then practice. So I'll come to that one. So anyway, that is about the preliminary part. Now let's come to the main. Anything else you would like to ask in this? We will give a list of that. I mean, आपका जो इसमें भी है, the booklet you got, the last page में है. Okay. Forest वाला cutoff will be slightly more than this. We will come to that. Okay, one by one I'm just going to do that, and please remember, forest cutoff will be at least 10 marks more than this, because the number of seats are also less there. But competition is also slightly less only, but science graduates only will be appearing. उसके लिए कोई अलग से preparation नहीं है, same thing है. You have to increase the number of, now instead of 80 and 80% ना जो आ रहे हैं, so it will be at least 105 will be the cutoff. In that range. If 92 is the cutoff for civil service, here it will be 102, 103 will be the cutoff. वही ध्यान रखना है. What else? नहीं, ये जो हम, this is the bare minimum. Okay, and in that, this class note and printed material is also a summary of some standard book. Okay, now say polity, you can always keep one standard book as your reference. Say for example, D.D. Basu. Like this, in history, one book. Okay, it may be Romila Thapar, maybe for the medieval and all. In the modern history, one book you should keep, and many a times in our, see, when you attend the class, I will come to that. This class note and printed material definitely is a compilation of all these from the standard book, and you should have one reference book for that. It is not to be mugged up, it is to be verified. Sometimes you have a doubt on a particular area, you should be able to open and check that. Like that, one standard book should be there. Other than that, maybe Yojana also, Kurukshetra also. So these things will help in adding your information. That much is there, but focus on this base. Anything else? Clear? Now let us move to the main exam, because अभी बहुत कुछ बात करना है अभी मुझे. So this is a preliminary. I hope you got the idea. Now main. See, now some of you may be thinking ना ये सब बोलने की क्या जरूरत है, ये सब हमें पता है. ठीक है, पता है, तब भी तो पूरा नहीं पता है बहुत लोगों को. Okay, so that is why I see the whole idea of this kind of a seminar is there should not be any confusion after going out of this room by evening. Okay, whatever you think, if there is some wrong information, you should correct it. So coming to the main, we have 9 papers, 1 English and 1 language, the Hindi or the what you call the 8th schedule language. 1 language which you have to choose, that is compulsory, 300 marks each. Okay, what is the minimum marks required to clear that? 300 में कितना चाहिए? It is somewhere between 80 to 90 marks normally. Okay, 100 तक भी जा सकता है, but normally 80 to 90 is the minimum marks required. Okay, but this is again 8th standard level only. 8th standard level. Okay, so you cannot complain. And those who are from northeast, especially Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Mizoram, Meghalaya, Sikkim, and parts of Manipur, this second paper you don't have to write, because there is no 8th scheduled language is in the state, so they are exempted from this. But otherwise this paper is not difficult. There is one small essay to be written for 100 marks. 300 words लिखना है, 300 में है ना, so around 300 words. Then some reading comprehension question will be there, one translation from English to Hindi and Hindi to English, one paragraph. So English to Hindi, Hindi to English will be easy because you read and then you have to write in English. But English to Hindi may not be that easy because you may not be remembering some of those real translation words. So it can be slightly problematic, but some practice, you can easily manage. Some grammar is there, 30-40 marks worth. Not at all difficult. If you have any doubt regarding this, please download the question paper today itself. It is available in the net, easy to manage. You cannot fail. But there are people who fail. Hindi medium wala English paper mein fail hota hai. Or those who did not study any language properly in their school time because of their parents' transferable jobs and all, they may fail in Hindi paper. I knew many people to fail होता है, फिर हिंदी का ट्यूशन ले रहे, तो ये आपकी चॉइस है, आपको देखना पड़ेगा. And if you have not written anything in your language for the last 5-6 years, तो only formula is 30 minutes. आप कोई भी इंटरनेट से कोई भी आर्टिकल पढ़ लो, आप अपने वर्ड्स में लिखो उसको. Best way is that 30 minutes you do for 2-3 months, your fluency in writing will come, more than sufficient. So this part should not be a problem for you. But I have just said, still if you have a problem, if you think there is a problem, you should resolve it. ये तुम्हारा काम है. You should know where you stand and accordingly you practice. So then the rest 7 papers. We have GS paper 1, then paper 2, paper 3, paper 4, then essay, then you have one optional, paper 1, paper 2. So you have to take only one optional, but paper 1 and paper 2, as you know very well. All these papers will have 250 marks each. So 7 papers, 1750 marks. 5 GS papers, including essay. Essay also, you take it as a GS only because you have to write a broad topic. And again, essay questions are not based on your knowledge alone. These days, many of these essay questions are what you call, some philosophy, some quotation. So you need to explain and write. So, last year especially, this year, this mains, which is last year people who wrote, all questions were related to some or other philosophy or quotation. So we need a new level. Till last year, I used to say that if you don't know that, leave it, because we get some general knowledge, current affairs related essay. But last year, they have asked only philosophy. So we need to prepare that also separately. So my request will be, see, in essay especially, otherwise it was very easy. Technology cannot replace manpower. One example I am giving. Technology cannot replace manpower. So then it's a topic 2-3 years before. Now tell me, can technology replace manpower? Yes, but question was that technology cannot. आप ये नहीं बोल सकते सर ये गलत बोल रहे आप. Technology can replace manpower. अभी दिखाता हूँ तुमको. If you write, what will you get out of 125? You will get 0. You cannot change the question and write what you know. Okay, question is technology cannot replace manpower. It's a very simple. Or a biased media is a real threat to Indian democracy. That is 2020 question. Biased media is a real threat to Indian democracy. So these kind of questions, if it is coming, we are using our general knowledge information to write that. But if the questions are related to philosophy and quotations, so we need to do that also. Now, a new challenge, what I will be suggesting is, there will be a lot of such, the quotations. So you try to collect, say 3 quotes every day. Think of doing that. It's not a difficult task. Collect 3 quotations, which are, normally universal quotations, okay, and try to understand its meaning. You write down in your notebook quotation and its meaning in 1 paragraph. You do not do anything else. So if you can collect it on a daily basis, you will know what is the meaning. Then only thing we require is the expansion of that. It is not a difficult task. So I am just telling you, essay writing, this paper of 250 marks, 2 essays you have to write, 125 marks each, and 1.5 hours each you can spend. Again, today also, if I give you this question right now, do you think you can write at least 100 words? 100, हमें 1000 words में लिखना है, but 100 तो आज लिख सकता है ना अभी, थोड़ा और practice करेगा तो it will become 200, it will become 300, it will become 500. It is not a difficult task to write essay, and there is no formula to write essay. It's only through practice. So we will also help in the class, but yes, this is something we can do. And otherwise, this GS paper 1, 2, 3, 4, and say paper 1, history, geography, social issues. Okay. Paper 2 is about polity, governance, and international bilateral. Okay, polity, governance, social justice also, international bilateral. Paper 3, has many economy, then we have science and tech, we have geonomics, meaning agriculture, geography and economics. Agriculture, PDS, food distribution, irrigation, what we call it geography plus economics. Then we have environment and disaster management. And finally, internal security. For 5 areas, economics, geography and economics, about India basically, then science and technology, environment, disaster management, internal security. So all these areas, paper 3 is slightly broader. Okay. And paper 4 is fully ethics, attitude, aptitude, case study, all those things put together. So generally, this is the thing. Now, what I am trying to say is that, again, in civil service exam, our problem is how to get marks. We have 1750. You have seen that, the total. Now, what is that minimum marks required to call for interview, to get a call for interview? हाँ? कुछ आइडिया बताओ, कितना मिलना चाहिए? 900 out of 1750 is the total marks. 7 papers into 250, including 1 optional subject you have taken. कितना चाहिए? 50%, 60%, 70%, क्या चाहिए? अप्रॉक्स 50. ठीक है. लास्ट ईयर का टॉपर है, कौन है टॉपर लास्ट ईयर? शुभम. कितना नंबर आया होगा? बहुत आया होगा. टॉपर है. Okay, he got 878 marks in written exam, and he is the topper. 875 is 50%. Are you getting this? So, मार्क्स बता ही देता हूँ, नहीं तो तुम लोग सोचेगा कि गलत बोल रहा मैं. Okay, Shubham Kumar got 878. Then that is first rank. 50%. सेकेंड रैंक जो है उनको मिला था 859, थर्ड रैंक को 839. ओके, 50% अगर लाया लोग सेलिब्रेट करेगा, बोला टॉपर है यार, घूम रहे. सीबीएसई में 50% अगर लाया होता, हाँ, उल्टा लटका के मारेगा. हाँ? So just imagine how difficult it is to score marks in UPSC exam. Okay, and whoever got, I think 730 in general category, वो अभी बता देता हूँ, वो मेरे पास लिस्ट है. Yeah, whoever got 736, they were invited for interview. 736 भी मिला, 878 topper है. Whoever got 736, that is 42% marks. This is 42%. They were all invited to come for interview. Okay, but मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा हूँ 736 वाले को सर्विस मिला. He might not have got. But 736, 42% was the cutoff for interview call. Okay, सर्विस के लिए ज्यादा चाहिए होगा, मे बी 775 जो भी है, but just 42% marks. So from this, what is the conclusion you should make? Conclusion is, to get marks in UPSC is very difficult. That is number one. Number two, अगर आपको 5 marks मिल रहे out of 10 in any answer, you should be happy. दुखी नहीं होना है. If you write a very good answer, out of the world answer, कितना मिलेगा? 6. ठीक है. If you write a good answer, 5. अगर एक दो लाइन कुछ पॉइंट लिखा, 1. कुछ नहीं लिखा, 0. If you write other than the answer, सब कुछ beyond the answer, 0. वो तो मानना चाहिए ना. See, it is not like university answer marking where you wrote something and you will get some marks. एक नंबर नहीं देगा. You know, in essay, people are getting 0 out of 125. 1.5 घंटा लिखा, तब भी 0. Why? Because they have not written the answer. He wrote something, but what is not what is asked. So you should not be in a, in fool's paradise to think that कुछ लिख लो नंबर आएगा. No. I have seen people getting 0 in essay. अगर किसी को 0 देना, पूरा आंसर लिखा, उसको 0 दे रहे आपको, कितना बार पढ़ के वो कंफर्म करेगा, सोच लो. यूपीएससी में मार्किंग कैसे होता है? They will be, the teachers will come and sit in the UPSC center. There they will be given the papers and then they evaluate. There is the head examiner, everything will be there. ऐसे नहीं कि घर पे भेज दिया और कहीं बैठ के चेक कर रहे, चाय पीते हो. No, very specifically done. Now, if the examiner decided to give 0, वो दोबारा पढ़ेगा. Before giving 0, I am sure he will read the answer again to ensure that his decision is correct. He may give the fellow examiner sitting in the next room also, भाई इधर चेक कर लो, मैं इसको क्या दूं उसको, वो भी बोला 0 दे दो. अगर ये मार्क्स अगर हेड एग्जामिनर के पास पहुंचा, he will also be surprised. How can you give 0? He will also read and reconfirm. That means if you get 0 in essay, that 0 might have been confirmed by 3-4 people. Reconfirm करके देगा. So what I am saying, they read. Point is, examiners read the answer, be careful. So anyway, so 5 out of 10 means good answer. Out of the world is 6. Not so good, maybe 4. So your marks will range between 6 to 4 if you do well in the exam. Okay. So getting marks is very difficult and be careful about this. And if you miss out questions and if you are not able to answer, it will be very difficult to manage. Anyway, so first thing is, please remember, in the main exam, getting marks is not that easy, number one. Number two, 50% means you are the topper. But now the final ranking, please remember, final ranking is based on what? Plus 275 marks of your interview. Okay. So total marks is 2025. Total marks is 2025. Clear? Now, I said 50% in written exam is a big score, but in interview the situation is slightly different. If you get 50%, you are out. Okay, you will not get anything. I'll tell you. See, if you are getting 50% in interview, कितना marks है of 275? कितना है? 137.5. %. If it is 60% plus 27.5, that will become 165. Okay? If you get 60% marks. If you get 70% marks, it will become 192.5. Okay? And if you are getting 75% marks in interview, कितना आएगा? 192 plus 13.5. 202 said 206. Okay. If you are getting 80%, कितना आएगा? 220. Is it not? 27.5 से जोड़ो ना इसको. 80 means 220. क्लियर है? नाउ लास्ट ईयर का स्कोर बताता हूं, तब आपको समझ में आएगा व्हाई आई एम डूइंग दिस. शुभम कुमार, आई सेड 878 plus 176. फर्स्ट रैंक 878 plus 176. इंटरव्यू में कितना आएगा? अराउंड 176 मीन्स कितना आया? 75%, सर 65% मार्क्स है ना? 65%. Second rank, that Jagriti, 859 plus 193. कितना है? 193 means 70%. Third rank, 839 plus 212. $212 का मतलब 78% in interview. Fourth rank, that is 851 plus 195. $195 means 71%. Okay, that is fourth. अभी fifth, 835 plus 206. Okay, see 195, then 187, 206. I mean एक रैंक का बता रहा हूँ. Okay, 206, then 193, 182, 215. 193, 182, 215. Fourth, fifth, sixth, this is this, 6, 7, 8, 9th rank or 215 in interview. 215 मतलब 78%. Now, what is common among all the toppers? हाँ? आप देखो 65% से कम किसी का नहीं है. 65 is first rank. First rank holder is the worst in interview. Are you getting this? So bottom line क्या है? Bottom line is written exam 50%, interview 65% minimum. नोट करके रख लो, बाद में मत बोलना आपने नहीं बताया था इसलिए मैं कम लाया और मैं फेल हो गया. ओके, बॉटम लाइन इज रिटन एग्जाम में टारगेट कितना है? 50%, इंटरव्यू 65%. यू कैनॉट स्कोर लेस देन दैट. एंड ऑल द टॉपर्स, आप अभी लिस्ट निकाल देना, घर जाके चेक करो, यू विल अंडरस्टैंड. आप देखिए ना 193, 212, 195, 187, 206, 193, 182. 215 और भी देखिए आपको समझ में आएगा। 215 के बाद 201, 182, 179, 173, you know, उस मामले में आप देखेगा दिस टीना डाबी ना, रिया डाबी 15th रैंक, शी गॉट 162, 15th रैंक, ओके 15th रैंक का मार्क्स देखो, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग आई टेल यू, शी ऑल्सो गॉट सेम 859 in written, okay 859 in written, but she got 162. Same second rank holder and 15th rank holder are same written marks. 193 second rank holder, 162 15th rank holder. See the difference. एक ही written marks. So if the same candidate ना 859 वाला 162 के जगह पे if he is getting 135, imagine करो 137, 50% marks लाया, 50% is 137.5. He may be getting some 100th rank. Okay, अगर ये 100 के आसपास इंटरव्यू में आया, नो सर्विस, 859 लाने के बाद. So what you should know is, now what is this third part, that interview? Okay, please understand. Interview, what do you call interview? Interview is personality test. Is it not? What do you mean by personality? हाँ, personality test में क्या होता है? Your appearance. तो एकदम facial करके जाओ, हाँ, एकदम score आ जाएगा. What is your personality? What do you mean by personality test? बताओ, come on यार. What do you mean by personality test? यूपीएससी में लिखा वही है ना, रिटन एग्जाम एंड पर्सनालिटी टेस्ट. क्या होगा वो पर्सनालिटी टेस्ट में? हाँ, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल, एकदम फराटेदार इंग्लिश बोलेगा तो मार्क्स. थिंकिंग, बैठने के तरीका, ड्रेसिंग भी देखेगा. तो फाइनली अपीयरेंस, अपीयरेंस नहीं, फिर क्या है? तो व्हाट इज दिस टेस्ट? हाँ, कैरेक्टर, नॉलेज नहीं. नॉलेज इज टेस्टेड इन द मेन एग्जाम. ये मिल गया तुम्हारा 7 पेपर्स, 9 पेपर्स, सारा नॉलेज वेरियस एंगल में चेक किया, ऐसे लिखवा के चेक किया, फिर शॉर्ट आंसर लिखवा के चेक किया, एक ऑप्शनल सब्जेक्ट पढ़ने के लिए वो भी पढ़ के दिखाया. नॉलेज इज फुल्ली टेस्टेड. So what is this personality? It is the character. What kind of person you are? ठीक है, अगर आपका कैरेक्टर ही बेकार है, don't expect. See, now you have to at least display some good qualities as a person. You have to display that. See, suppose वो भी सब छोड़ो, suppose ये new collector comes to your district. What do you expect in that collector? आप क्या expectation है उस आदमी से? आप किस टाइप का कलेक्टर चाहता है, ये बताओ. हर प्रॉब्लम का सोल्यूशन, वाह, सोल्यूशन टू एवरी प्रॉब्लम. हाँ, ईमानदार, आई मीन हॉनेस्टी. हाँ, एम्पैथी भी होना चाहिए, वेरी गुड. पंक्चुअल भी होना चाहिए, टाइम पे आना चाहिए. हाँ, डिसीजन मेकिंग पावर भी होना चाहिए, थोड़ा डिसिसिव होना चाहिए, डिसीजन मेकिंग पावर. फिर पोलाइट भी हो, पावर है तो चलो पोलाइटनेस, पोलाइट. लीडरशिप, वो भी बोला. और क्या चाहिए? पंक्चुअल भी चाहिए, हार्ड वर्किंग चाहिए, एम्पैथी भी चाहिए, डिसीजन मेकिंग पावर भी हो. हर सॉल्यूशन का, सॉरी, हर प्रॉब्लम का सॉल्यूशन, या हर सॉल्यूशन के लिए प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करके बता दे भाई हमसे नहीं होगा. मेनी a times I always feel you go to an office with your problem, that officer will tell 10 other problem to you, and finally आप बोलेगा भाई तुम्हारा प्रॉब्लम मेरे प्रॉब्लम से बड़ा है, आप ही बैठ जाओ, मैं जा रहा हूं, है ना. So This is what you want to see in an officer. So when you come for interview, we want to check whether you have in you. Are you getting this? If you can display that, score will be like this. Are you getting this? You very rightly said you should be very polite. Politeness include good morning, good afternoon, thank you sir, yes sir, or no sir, which you failed to say when I came. ठीक है, मैं मार्क्स तो नहीं दे रहा हूँ वहां पे. When we conduct mock interview, this is the first thing we check. As you said, the way you come, the way you sit, the way you speak. Okay, वो भी part है. But when you ask about, see, communal tensions are going on across India. क्या है? What, according to you, what is the solution? आपके पास कोई solution तो चाहिए. You have to say something, and honesty should be displayed. Empathy towards the poor. Problem, environmental problems. We are always worried about all these things. We have punctuality, decision-making power. See, whatever you want to see in these officer, this is what we are searching in you when you come for interview. If you can display some of them, this is what we are saying, your character. Civil service preparation is not only about knowledge. Knowledge is important. But, आप ये देखो ना, this marks, you are talking about 70% marks in interview. Okay? Now, if you look at this as a percentage of the total score, up 859 and 193. Okay? So, almost 20% of your marks, 18 to 20% of your final marks are for what? See, the total आपको कितना मिला? 850 plus 200 है तो 859 plus 200 है कितना है? 1050 हो गया ना. See, आप ये देखो, फर्स्ट रैंक को छोड़ दो क्योंकि ना उनका थोड़ा एक्सेप्शनल है. दिस इज द बेस्ट display I would like to show. Second rank is the right combination. थोड़ा कम है, यहाँ पे यही मार्क्स एक्सपेक्ट करता है. तो आप देखो 859 plus 193. So this is 1050 something, and इसमें 193 mark out of 1050, 193 is for interview, for your character. So almost 20%, 18% of your final score is for your character, your personality, your attitude, your politeness, which cannot be taught in an institute. है ना? ये when you say about our own friends and relatives, हम बोलते हैं ये बड़ा गंदा आदमी है. On what basis you said somebody is गंदा? Behavior, उसका attitude, आदत पता है. हम बोले ये बहुत अच्छा आदमी है. क्यों? That is how you display it. So you have to live. Character is something what we live on a daily basis. Okay, so आपको, you have 2 years time for you now to develop that right character. We always say, OLQ, officer like qualities. You have to develop that, you have to practice that, you have to live in that. If you live, or when you come to the interview, it will be displayed. If you are honest in your day-to-day life, you will show that honesty in the interview also. If you are, punctual, that punctuality will be there in your day-to-day life. Okay, you need not tell. Suppose you say, tell me something about you or other. Why should we select you? If you ask this question, if you have to manufacture something, it will be very difficult to tell. But if you are something already, you can always tell that. No, so that is where the whole idea. So what I am trying to say is, civil service preparation is all not just about the information and the knowledge which you carry. It is also about the character. Your success, 20% of the chance of you being successful depends on your character also. See, I always talk about 4 things which you please consider. One is information. Okay. Second is knowledge. Third is education. Fourth is wisdom. Okay. Information, knowledge, education and wisdom. आपको क्या है इसमें? What do you have out of the four? आपके पास क्या है? क्या है? बताओ. एजुकेशन है. लिटिल ऑफ एवरीथिंग. वेरी गुड. See, this is a challenge, man. See, there is a very famous quote by T.S. Eliot, our famous English poet. You know, he asked, "Where is the wisdom today?" Okay, wise people, wise men. हमारे इंडिया में अगर 2-3 वाइस मैन के नाम लेना है तो किसका नाम लेगा आप? पास्ट, प्रेजेंट, वाइस मैन, पीपल विद विजडम. महात्मा गांधी तो बोलो यार. तुम लोग तो, यही प्रॉब्लम है हमारे देश का. उनका नाम लेना ही आजकल गड़बड़ है. नेहरू का तो नाम बोलेगा तो एंटी नेशनल बोल के अंदर कर देगा. We had maybe Rabindranath Tagore, Swami Vivekanand, है ना. We had such people. As you said, APJ Abdul Kalam वगैरह ठीक है यार. I mean, we cannot raise him to the level of Mahatma Gandhi and all. ठीक है. Wisdom. Where is the wisdom today? He said it is lost in education. Then he said, where is education today? It is lost in knowledge. And where is the knowledge today? It is lost in information. So, what do you have? We have information. है ना. कुछ भी पूछेगा तुरंत नेट पे चेक करके बता देगा. भाई अभी बताता हूं सर. ओके. वी हैव ऑल नॉलेज. गुड, बैड, अगली, सारा नॉलेज है हमारे पास. ओके. एंड सिविल सर्विस इज अ टेस्ट ऑफ ऑल द फोर. प्लीज डोंट फॉरगेट. हमें वो भी चाहिए, इंफॉर्मेशन भी चाहिए. ओके. व्हाई? इंफॉर्मेशन इज टेस्टेड इन योर प्रिलिमिनरी एग्जाम. प्रिलिमिनरी एग्जाम में क्या है? आंसर इज ऑल्सो गिवन इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू. आपको ये जस्ट मार्क करना है. मेन एग्जाम इज अ टेस्ट ऑफ योर नॉलेज, because you have to memorize, we have to know, we have to comprehend, then we have to write. So knowledge plus expression. Interview. How well educated you are. आपका नॉलेज टेस्ट नहीं कर रहे इंटरव्यू में. आपको कोई फैक्ट्स नहीं पूछेगा. They will not ask any facts. Even if you make mistakes in the facts, you are not, marks are not reduced for not telling all the facts. But what kind of character you are, what kind of person you are, how well educated you are. If you say I am well educated, are you educated today? Are you an educated person? आप बोले मैं I am a literate person. मैं अंग्रेजी भी बोलूंगा, हिंदी भी बोलूंगा. लेकिन are you educated? What is the, how, to whom you call as a well educated person? Huh? A well educated person. Huh? हाईली क्वालिफाइड में तो फिर डिग्री हो गया ना. BSc, BCom, BA, MA, knowledge plus experience. I will not call them as educated. People who are able to use their knowledge. मजा नहीं आया. हाँ? Highly skilled person. आप किस आदमी को आप बोले वेल एजुकेटेड आदमी है? ए वेल एजुकेटेड पर्सन इज नॉट अबाउट द अमाउंट ऑफ नॉलेज. नॉलेज तो चाहिए, मना नहीं कर रहा हूं, बट द बिहेवियर, द कैरेक्टर, द वे दे इंटरैक्ट, how they show concern about the problems of the society, their compassion, all those words you wrote there. तब बोले अरे highly qualified, well educated. Is it not? So this is what is tested in your interview. And plus, of course, some wisdom if you can show. At your age, we may not be expecting too much of wisdom in you. अगर आप बड़ा ज्यादा wisdom दिखाया, फिर तो आपको कहीं ले जाके पूजा करने के लिए रखेंगे. इस एज में we don't expect. अरे महात्मा गांधी did not become महात्मा गांधी at the age of 20 or 40, है ना? महात्मा तब बना when because of his age and experience and knowledge and his understanding of the problems, he became Mahatma at some point of time later on. So some glimpse of wisdom if you show, we will give you 215 also. Some glimpse of wisdom. Okay, but if you are showing that you are a well educated person, 195. Okay, well behaved, concerned about the problems of the country, concerned about the fellow citizens, not communal. Okay, आजकल being communal is a fashion. चार गाली दूसरों को नहीं दिया तो आपको लगेगा you are not nationalist, है ना? यही प्रॉब्लम है हमारे देश का आज के डेट में. Luckily, such people are not sitting in the interview board to judge you. Okay, anyway, so what I'm trying to say that this is the sum total of everything here. Preliminary is testing something, main exam is testing something else. Okay, pre is this, main exam's requirement is knowledge plus expression of knowledge. So that is why if I tell you, just for your understanding, your preparation, who all will be successful मैं बताता हूँ. Success का एक formula दे देता हूँ, सोच लो, बाद में मत बताना. Okay, we need 4 things to finally become IAS. आप बताओ, ठीक है, before I tell, you tell what is required to become IAS. Hard work, very good, वो भी लिख लेता हूँ कहीं. Hard work, फिर dedication, फिर patience, very good, बहुत पेशेंस चाहिए. हमारे क्लास भी सुनना है, वो भी पेशेंस है. डिसिप्लिन, वेरी गुड, डिसिप्लिन. कंपैशन बाद में लाएगा. कंपैशन है तो आईएएस हो जाएगा, अभी नहीं. कैरेक्टर में चाहिए कंपैशन, मान ले. व्हाट एल्स? हार्ड वर्क, डेडिकेशन, पेशेंस, डिसिप्लिन, गाइडेंस चाहिए. Motivation, guidance. Okay, very good. ठीक है, मान लिया. Now, ये कैरेक्टर में चाहिए. But to get through the exam, आपको क्या चाहिए? मार्क्स चाहिए. How to get marks? You should be able to write. How to write good answer? If you know something. To know something, what is required? Good material, study kit चाहिए. ठीक है. So first thing is good material or collection. Good collection of information material. This collected information, this collected information should be converted into knowledge. This knowledge should be converted into good answers, good writing skill. Okay. So, when I look at the whole problem, let me say like this. ये interview marks रहने दो, मैं कट. I am just keeping it because that's everything. Okay. So I will give 20% weightage for good material collection and the right institute. Okay, if you are having the right material, I will say 20% of your work is done. Then, so that is where you get it from the institute, and the institute you choose. If you go to a wrong institute, you will get wrong information, and then you are in wrong trouble. Oh, मैं बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ अभी. I am not comparing anything. You have to convert this information into knowledge by studying at home, self-studying. Well, suppose you come and attend a class today. I teach you one topic. What will you do with that material which you wrote the notes also? What will you do with that when you go home? Revise and study, self-study, memorize. Okay. So, when you do it at home, I will say you have done another 30% of the work. घर जाके जब पूरा properly when you study, you have done another 30%. But still only 30%, 30 plus 20, 50%. If you have to reach 100, you are only 50. Then, when you practice answer writing and practice multiple choice questions at home, you are not, see, even after having good knowledge, you have to practice. Okay, so that will add another 30% to your success. If you have good material and if you are utilizing the material and memorizing and your knowledge is improved, 50%. But if you can express that also properly, if you can write good answers, you will become 80%. Still only 80%. The last 20% is your character. That is 20%. See, just see, in interview, this marks, this is not because of your knowledge and writing skill and not because of the kind of material you have collected. It is the sum total of what you are. That is also important in civil service preparation. That should not be forgotten. You cannot say that, sir, ek bar IAS bana do, I will become honest. No, I will say you be honest, there is a chance of becoming IAS. उल्टा नहीं हो सकता है. सर्विस दे दो, मैं ऑनेस्टी दिखा दूंगा या कंपैशन दिखाऊंगा. अभी राइट नाउ, इफ यू आर कम्युनल राइट नाउ, you cannot show your good qualities in the interview board. And when you become an officer, you will never be, doing justice to all people. You will show your communal character at that time. वो तो इंटरव्यू में भी दिखता है, तभी तो मार्क्स नहीं मिलता है. Okay, so be careful about that. So please understand, this is what we are looking. And so good material and good institute is only the beginning of your problem. अगर बहुत लोग दिल्ली में आके उधर भी फंस जाता है, ये भी नहीं, बाकी तो फिर गया काम से. दैट इज वाई ना 20,000 रुपए में भी जीएस मिलेगा आपको दिल्ली में. गो टू, इफ यू वॉक अराउंड, दिल्ली में कितना इंस्टीट्यूट होगा? बहुत है, कम से कम 200 तो होगा, है ना. 20,000 से आपको मिलेगा. अभी फ्री ऑनलाइन कोचिंग नहीं मिल रही, 4,999 में पूरा जीएस, वो भी मिलेगा आपको. ठीक है, इस चक्कर में मत फंसना. बी केयरफुल. ओके, सो एनीवे, सो आई सेड ऑल दीज थिंग्स. मटेरियल only 20%. But if you are not studying on a daily basis at home, उधर ही रह जाएगा. If you study, then there is a chance of writing answer. कुछ लोग सिर्फ answer writing without knowledge, कोई फायदा नहीं है. Suppose I ask you, tell me something about the Sri Lankan economic crisis. If you don't know anything, what answer you will write? फिर क्या answer writing skill help करेगा आपको? कोई help नहीं हो सकता है. And along with that, if there is character, you are IAS. Otherwise, nothing. Okay. So all the four combinations should work. Then only success will be there. So one very important component in your day-to-day life is, other than attending class, is self-study at home. How many hours you study right now at home? Today or yesterday, how many hours you spend for self-study? You know what is self-study? Material है, underline भी किया हुआ है, उसको याद किया, so that you can write an answer today. How many hours you are spending out of 24 hours? Tomorrow नहीं, कल, yesterday. Tomorrow तो करेगा, हाँ, yesterday. कितना होना चाहिए आप बता दो, आउट ऑफ कितना, 24 आवर्स ही है ना तुम्हारे पास, ये ज्यादा तो नहीं है? हाँ, मेरे पास 24 है। सी दिस इज द चैलेंज। अगर आपको ये चीज अगर आज समझ में आ गया, पूरा ये सेमिनार धन्य हो गया आपका। तो कितना, हाउ मेनी आवर्स बता दो। बोलो, आउट ऑफ 24 आवर्स। टोटल 24 आवर्स है ना? हाउ मेनी आवर्स यू विल स्लीप? वो तो क्लियर है, जल्दी जल्दी बोल रहे हैं। ओके 8 आवर्स मान लिया मैंने। ओके 8 आवर्स ऑफ स्लीप, 16 आवर्स है। हाउ मेनी आवर्स यू विल यूटिलाइज फॉर सिविल सर्विस? You have no other work. If you have no other work, 8 to 10. See what I am saying. अगर आप 16 hours बाकी है, and if you have to get through in one attempt, अब मान लो 1 attempt ही है आपके पास, I will say 10 to 12 hours you should be spending in the name of civil services. 1 year, ज़्यादा नहीं, बाद में मस्ती कर लो after becoming IAS. Okay, so out of this 10 to 12 hours, I will suggest that 4.5 to 5 hours you should be spending for converting information into knowledge. 50% of your time. Okay, or rather I will say 40, 40, 20. कैरेक्टर बिल्डिंग के लिए टाइम नहीं दे रहा हूं अभी, वो तो अपने आप होना है, एडिशनल टाइम नहीं। क्या है? 40 फॉर कलेक्शन, 40 for knowledge, 40 for practice, 20 for practice. Okay, most ideal thing is 5 hours for collection, 5 hours for knowledge making when you studying self study, and 2 hours for answer writing and multiple choice. So a couple of questions online में आया मैं, how to approach science and tech environment in prelim. We will be talking about that, but otherwise there is no separate source current affairs here, science and tech. Compiling daily current affairs will add daily data to the notes, so how to prepare? So we will talk about that, but my suggestion is minimum, okay, not more than 1 story a day from the newspaper to be collected, because even if you collect 1 story a day, 365 days you have 365 stories to be answered or memorized, so it's not that easy. And number 3, how to study from prelim perspective when we are studying from subject. See, there is no need to study anything in the prelim perspective in the beginning. First you create knowledge. Okay, once you have the knowledge about the subject, say for example polity, constitution, if you know the constitution, then some of the information is required for preliminary, some of the information for the main exam, you have to see which is required for what. So then you have to utilize, you have to bifurcate and use it accordingly. Prelim, maybe more facts and some concept. Main exam, maybe you'll have to remember, sequence wise and all. So accordingly you have to study, otherwise content is same. So that is why we always say main come prelim. That is why we are using that. Another question, I just started my preparation and currently reading standard books. Very difficult me to maintain pace with current affairs. See, only thing, that reason is if you have to divide, you should have a daily routine. Success will come only if you have a routine, and you have to divide your time. Time is fixed. So you should know that 2 hours you are spending only for answer writing and multiple choice solving. 50% of the time, the rest of the 50% of the time I will use only for self-study. Then automatically you will curtail. Suppose I give you Hindu newspaper today. How many hours you will take to complete that newspaper? Huh? Properly agar padna hai, if you have to read it properly, how many hours you will take? At least 3 hours. You cannot finish without that. But you have only say 45 minutes. The moment you have fixed the time, that sense of urgency will come. Accordingly you will read. Then many altu-faltu things you will not study. Suppose you have to travel somewhere. बैग पैक कर रहा है, 10 कपड़ा लेके रखा है, पता चला वी कैन कीप ओनली 2, देन व्हाट विल यू डू? इमीडिएटली दैट सेंस ऑफ प्रायोरिटी विल कम, 8 फेंक देगा, बोले ये सही है। 2 मिनट पहले अगर बोलता नहीं 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 ऐसे कैसे होगा, सारा बहुत जरूरी है, but the moment you realize that I cannot carry all, then you bring in that selection and sense of priority. Same thing has to happen in newspaper reading also. You know that I have only 45 minutes to read newspaper, so I have to, so other teachers will be talking about that, don't worry. Does handwriting also determine marks? Definitely. If you write something, if I write something which you cannot read, what will you say? तुम तो मार्क्स नहीं दे रहे। अगर मार्क्स देना होता तो क्या देता, ये क्या लिखा है सर, मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, आई विल नॉट गिव यू मार्क्स। So handwriting will definitely impact. So please make sure that you are improving. What kind of quotes can I use in essay? Any quote can be used in the essay provided that is relevant to the question. No other reason. My English communication is not so good. Very good. No problem. Please remember, in interview there is no test of English. There is a test of your character. Okay. If you are able to express your character, you will get marks. Suppose you are sent to Uganda and you don't know the language, local language, bhook lag raha hai. Will you die of hunger and thirst because you did not know the language? नहीं. क्या करेगा? कुछ तो दिखाएगा, हाँ वो सब करेगा, लोग खाना देगा, you will survive, है ना? Same thing in interview. Don't change the language of interview only because you have a fear that your English may not be good, not required. It is not the fluency, it is not the correct English which will give you marks. It is your character will give you marks. Okay, I said na, if a if a new collector came and he is not good looking and he is not able to speak well, but he is a problem solver. You want such people na? तो थोड़ी बोलेगा कि अंग्रेजी ठीक नहीं है, इसको भगा दो. He will say he is a nice man, speaks less, he is able to do the work done, very honest, hard working. We want that person. We don't want a very good English speaking corrupt officer. है ना, झारखंड में अभी किसी को अरेस्ट किया ना, so many crores of rupees. Who wants that यार? पकड़ने के बाद बहुत गंदा लगता है ना. So that's what. So character is what is required, not the language and English. Okay. So my bottom line of my discussion is, please remember this: collection should be only one part of your daily routine. Every day you should memorize. Every day you should write answers. And anyway, you live your character on a daily basis. That is always required. And out of the 4 or 5 things which you said, the most important thing to become successful is discipline. Disciplined hard work. Disciplined a routine. If you have routine, you will divide the time. Okay. And you need patience. You know, even if you want to, how many of you would like to become the topper in the first attempt? अच्छा लगेगा ना, सबको चाहिए ना. First attempt. When is that? When will you become the topper? I mean, if you are getting through in first attempt, वो कब है? फिर बताओ, अभी डेट बताओ, बताओ ना. हाँ? Say today you have decided to become the topper in the first attempt. So we are in May 2022. First attempt कब होगा? Okay, 28th May 2023 you will write the prelim. Is it not? When you will write the main exam? October 2023 you will write the main exam. When you will go for the interview? First attempt. Oh, February 2024. When you will get the result? May, yeah, April 2024. First attempt, if you want to be the champion and the first rank holder, still it is 2 years away. Some of you said, मेरा attempt है 2025 में. तब You will get in 2027. So you have to have that patience till you get it. This is not Maggie noodles. है ना, 2 minutes तू करेगा हो गया. Even if you want to, if you have no time, see, that's what I always say, na, if you don't have patience, if you don't have time, time is the biggest factor in civil service preparation. Please don't forget. If you finally did not get through, it is only because of time. आप बोले वक्त की बात था, नहीं, वो वक्त नहीं बता रहा हूं मैं. Time. 2 साल यार, you have to focus. And if you lose your focus at any point of time, you will lose. See, 193 के लिए गया इंटरव्यू बोर्ड में, लास्ट 5 minutes फोकस नहीं कर पाया, आंसर नहीं किया, उल्टा सीधा बोला, भगा दिया. सब कुछ ठीक था. 859 in written exam and 120 in interview, you are out. You would have been second topper otherwise. Last 5 minutes in the interview, loss of focus. Main exam mein, till you give the paper to the examiner, the last 5 minutes also counts. That's why I always say history has no meaning. You may be a topper till now. Today onwards, if you are not studying, you are out. If you have not done anything in your life till now, if today onwards, if you study, you can become. So that focus with patience. Next 2 years, it will decide. See, if you did not finally, क्या होगा? रास्ते में आपको कोई नौकरी लग गया, या किसी ने एडवाइस दे, ये एलएस से निकला, बाहर कोई खड़ा था, बोल दे ये इंस्टीट्यूट ठीक नहीं है, दूसरे में आ जाओ, फंस गया. ओके, या क्लास कर रहे थे, बगल में कोई आके बैठ गई, हमारा अटेंशन उधर, क्लास इधर, गया काम से. कुछ लोगों को शादी का प्रपोजल आएगा, कुछ लोगों के घर पे किसी का क्या बोलते हैं, तबीयत ठीक नहीं है. वक्त की बात है, समझ रहे? So what I am saying is that whoever can withstand all these things, who can focus without any distraction, they will become IAS. You will get the idea. Idea is not a problem. I said 20% for content, 30% for self-study, 30% for answer writing, 20% for character. Please remember, that's everything. Okay, so I will stop here today. My part is over. So Manish will be talking immediately after this. We'll have a small break, 20 minutes. In that, he'll be detailed explanation about GS will be there. You got a broad picture now, what is required. And then the third session will be after lunch. We'll be talking about selection of optional, everything, all those. Whatever left, whatever I could not answer, which you wanted to ask also, that the others will be answering. Meantime, if you have some doubt, please note down. Please ask. We will answer it. Okay. Thank you so much.